Welcome back, everybody. Episode number two
Number two.
of Step Point Sessions. Once again, I'm Austin Davids. I am a mental performance coach, and I'm joined again by my brother, Andrew Davids. It's good to have you, man. I'm so excited we're doing this again. This is awesome.
What's up? So excited to be here. Can't wait.
This is great. Today, we're going to talk about probably one of the most important things in sports psychology, not even sports psychology, just psychology in general, performance for people, and that is the growth mindset and the power of the word yet. This is something I took an entire class on this
Yep.
earlier in my master's program. This was discussed for 8 weeks. It's such an important thing, and I think it's very important for athletes, performers, everybody, students, teachers, professionals of any sort to know and understand this topic.
Absolutely. Such a big
So
thing.
yeah, it's something that I wish we knew growing up.
Yeah.
Honestly, that it wasn't something that was discussed very much when we were kids, and I wish it was because it's powerful. It truly is. For anybody who doesn't know, growth mindset. Actually, I'm going to let Andrew talk about this growth mindset. Tell me what you know.
Yeah. So, um, there's two kind. Like when we talk about growth mindset, the opposite of the growth mindset is the fixed mindset. And so, I think it's easiest to talk about fixed mindset if we know a little bit about what the growth mindset is. Um, so, growth mindset is always looking to get better, to do more, to not settle for what you are currently, whether that's in your professional work life, in your school work, on the courts, wherever you're at. A fixed mindset would be, I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm satisfied with the information that I know or the skills that I have or how good I am at something, and I'm just going to kind of chill and ride out what I have. Where that growth mindset comes in is always looking for the next thing, always trying to get a little bit better, and to improve your skills, improve your knowledge, and to just grow with who you are and what you are. Um, you hear the word or the phrase 1% better every day. That I think is a good encompassing of the growth mindset of you don't have to get a lot better, but if you're getting a little bit better every day, you are growing. I think that's a good thing.
Well, a lot of athletes, in my experience at least, expect results to come very quickly. They
Yeah.
expect themselves when they work hard and they do these things that coaches ask of them, they expect those results to be shown right away. And that's just in reality, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen for athletes, students, anything like that. You can put the time and the effort in, but like you said, 1% better. It's just building on top of what you have in literally in the name, growing, growth mindset, growing yourself. You mentioned being content with where you are, but I think it also kind of can apply to challenges that athletes, performers, students face, right? In the sense that when a challenge comes and it's maybe difficult to get over that challenge, um, being able to say, I haven't figured this out, but I just haven't figured it out yet. I'm going to use these
Yeah.
these tribulations and these things that are coming at me to get better and to learn from any sort of failure, any sort of problem that's faced in any given situation, being able to overcome it. I think that is the embodiment of a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, you
Yep.
know?
And you said it right there. I can't do this yet. I haven't figured out how to overcome this challenge yet. And who name me one professional athlete that was the best at what they're doing the first time they tried it? None of them.
Exactly.
Yeah, they worked. It was oh man, I'm not the best yet. I'm still not
Yes.
good enough. I have more things to do. I have to get better. So, like it's that growth mindset. You don't get to the top. You don't even climb at all without that mindset of I have to grow. I have to get better at this.
Exactly. Every athlete's heard the story about like Michael Jordan and how, he was cut from
Yeah.
the JV basketball team. Like a fixed mindset is saying, screw this, I'm cut. I'm never going to try this again.
Yep.
I'm cool with being a baseball player or whatever it was,
Right.
but he had the growth mindset to overcome that challenge, get better, and now he's widely regarded as one of the goats in basketball.
The goat. He
Um,
is
I
the
think
goat.
that's the GOAT. Okay, there's going to be some people out there that are mad at me for not saying LeBron's the GOAT, but I agree. Michael Jordan
Yeah.
is the GOAT. Um, yes, yes. I'm sorry to everybody who thinks otherwise. You're wrong. It's
Yep.
Michael Jordan. Um,
MJ.
MJ. So one of the things that I'm curious about, since you're both a coach and a teacher, so you probably see this in the classroom a little bit sometimes
Yeah.
with your students. How do you encourage people to change from a fixed mindset to more of a growth mindset? Are there certain strategies you tell them to use, or what kind of works for you to get them into that growth mindset?
It changes. I think every person is a little bit different. Um, every person has different priorities, especially when it comes to academics. You get people that are satisfied with getting a C on a test or a C in the class, and then you get people who are upset when they have a 95 instead of a 100. And so you got to kind of approach each situation, at least in the classroom, a little bit differently. There's a couple of different things that we talk about. We talked last week about wanting people to be interested in what comes next, right? Like to want to learn the next thing,
Yeah,
and I think that's a piece of it. To have that interest in the next thing, whether it's academically, like I do some things in my sophomore chemistry class where I say, you know, we're not going to talk about this particular topic in this class, but there's a lot of things that you could talk about in the next chemistry
there's
class.
more.
Or
Yep.
if you go on and take college chemistry classes when you get out of high school, you'll talk about these things. And so it's kind of like, oh, the kids that are interested and want to know, and the kids that are paying attention to me, and like, oh, okay, maybe I want to know more about that. And so then that kind of lights
Yeah.
the fire a little bit for the next thing. Um, I also think it's all a perspective thing, right? Like you've got to if you're trying to change from a fixed mindset into a growth mindset, you've got to change your perspective. You've got to not be okay with just being okay. And
Say that again. Say that again. That
yeah,
was beautiful. Very well
you
said. Say it again.
you've got to not be okay with just being okay.
Yep.
If you're just okay at something, you're not the best. You're not good at it. You're just okay. And that's a perspective, and that's a mindset that comes from within. And so I can do whatever I can, whether it's in the classroom or on the tennis courts, of trying to encourage that. But it's a decision that has to be made on the individual's basis.
Yep.
And I think that's why the people that come to you are coming to you because they have made that decision to get better, to try to do
Absolutely.
what they need to do on their own to make the next step, to make those improvements and get that growth. So
That's one of the things that it's in my initial conversation with the athlete. Every single time if somebody comes to me, a new person, I make sure that this is a choice that they're making, right?
yeah,
I don't want a parent to send their child to me because the parent thinks they need to make some changes and the parent
right,
wants certain things for their kids. I want the athlete or the performer, whoever it is coming to me saying I need help, I want them to want to
yeah,
get better, and get past these challenges and these obstacles that they're facing. And like you said, they're in a position where they feel like they're just okay, and
yeah,
they're not okay with that. They want
yeah,
to better themselves and put themselves in a better position. And I think that makes the best students. That sort of
hmm,
mindset makes the best athletes. It makes the best professionals, where you're just never really satisfied with what you're doing, not in a negative way where you're beating yourself up and whatever it may be, but in a sense of I can be better at this and I'm going to do what it takes to
Yeah,
get better at this.
that
Does that
hunger.
make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That hunger of, um, I need more. I want more. I have to do more, and not just
Yep.
being satisfied with where you're at.
This is a whole nother conversation that we can talk about at a different time, but it goes into goals, right?
Yeah,
And setting these goals, they can change. They should change. And so giving yourself something to strive for, and A, not stopping until you reach it, and then B, once you do reach it, changing things and setting a new goal, a
yeah.
new
New goals.
thing
You
to reach
don't.
for.
Yep, yep. New goals.
Yeah. And I think again, that's one thing that you do really well as a coach is before the season starts, you have the girls and the boys fill out goal sheets.
Hmm.
Literally anyone from the bottom JV to number one on the team, just give me a goal. So that way, as coaches, we know what we're working with and where to put you or like
Yeah,
where to push you, but also so you know to push yourself
yeah.
when these challenges and things come. I think that is a great way to encourage a growth mindset, having those goals set and
One
doing that
thing
as a coach.
One thing I started doing, I think it was a couple seasons ago, was kind of compiling that list of goals that the players give me and putting it up on the screen during a team meeting and showing everybody's goals. Keep them anonymous, but like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, I'm not the only one that wants to get better at my forehand. Or I'm not the only one that needs work on the second serve. And
Yep.
I think, especially when we have a team meeting about those things and when we practice in a team environment, if I understand my teammates' goals and my teammates understand my goals, it makes our practices way more effective and gives the girls, some insight, or the boys, the players, some insight as to what we're doing and the decisions I make as a coach, why we're doing a specific drill or why we spend so much time doing this thing. Well, oh yeah, there's like 10 other girls or 10 other guys on the team that have a similar goal to mine. So yeah,
Hmm.
let's work on some serves at practice so that I can meet my goal and everybody else on the team that had a goal about serving that we can work to make to meet those goals. So I think that's something cool that I've done in the past too.
Exactly. That's great. And I think having coaches or people around you, it doesn't even have to be coaches, teachers or friends who share a growth mindset in the sense of we're not going to let you be complacent and have a
Yeah.
fixed mindset. We're going to continue to get you to where you want to be, where you should be.
Hmm.
It's so easy as just humans to be okay with where we're at in at any point. I know we
It's
talk a lot
it's
about
easy.
athletes.
It's easy to do it. Just
Yep.
to relax and not push yourself out of your comfort zone. It's just an easy thing to do.
One of the best things that I read was is a simple quote from a book that said the best things are on the other side of fear. And I think
Mm,
sometimes we as people are afraid to take a step, try something new when what we have is just fine. When we're chilling where we're at, we're cool. We've got a good paying job, maybe we're in a good relationship and everything's kind of okay, but we're afraid to ruin what we have.
yeah.
Um, when in reality, if you make those steps and those goals, that it it's not going to get worse. It's probably going to get better. I don't know. That quote really stood out to me when
I've
when I
I've
read it.
seen before, growth does not occur inside your comfort zone, right? Like comfort zone's not on your list of topics to talk about tonight, but it's a good thing to include in the growth mindset. Like if you're
Yeah.
just satisfied staying here inside your comfort zone and you're not pushing yourself, you're not taking the next risk, you're not trying to step out and make yourself um, uncomfortable and be challenged, you are not growing. And the only way to grow your comfort zone is to get outside of your comfort zone and to
Yeah.
make it bigger.
An example that I read, again, me reading books, crazy, right? This is the same
Wild,
guy
dude.
that has gone to college 4 different times. This
That's
is this is
wild.
crazy. Um, see, growth mindset. I
That's right.
I changed to a growth mindset, and
That's
look where
right.
I'm at. It talked about it used the example of a basketball player who has the best 3-point percentage in the city. He's notorious for being a really good 3-point shooter. If he goes to practice and practices, works on his 3-point shot,
Mm,
is he getting better as a player?
right.
Probably not. He's working on the things that he's already good at because that's what he's comfortable doing. If he goes to practice and works on his 3-point shot, but also works on his layups and his defense and his footwork and his
Yep.
conditioning, and he puts himself in an uncomfortable position, he's probably going to come out a better basketball player
Yep.
as a whole than just a notoriously good 3-point shooter. And that's the desire that an athlete needs to have, is to be well rounded.
Tennis example. When I
Go
say
for it.
we're going to go through some court rotations and this court's going to be a court of backhand drills across the board. Oh, my backhand's so bad. Oh, I can't hit a backhand. My backhand's terrible. Do we have to hit backhands today? Yeah, we have to hit backhands
Yes, we do.
because your backhands are terrible. You can't get better at your backhand if you don't practice hitting backhands. Like, it's the
Yeah.
same thing. If you got the best serve on the team and you only want to hit serves at practice, what about the rest of your game? That's only part of it,
Hmm.
right? Like, it's that. It's the same thing.
That's that's such a great example. I almost miss the days at practice of just hearing a collective groan from everybody when
Oh,
it's or volleys. A lot of people don't like working on
oh,
overheads. Really? Overheads? Do we have to? Yes, yes, you have
oh,
to.
yes, we have
Uh,
to.
one of the things I wanted to talk about is just for anybody listening, three tangible, actionable ways that you can put yourself into a growth mindset. And this is not strictly applicable to athletes. This is, like I've said before, anybody in any sort of situation. You can be a professional, musician. You can be in the workforce. You can
Yeah.
sell things for a living. This applies to everybody. The first one is a huge one for me, and that's reframing negative statements,
Mm,
especially when failure comes around, when failure happens. A way to relate this to tennis is failure is inevitable in tennis.
yeah.
I have never, and I will never meet a person who wins 100% of their points, 100% of their games, has a great day at practice all the time, never misses. It's just impossible, right?
Yeah.
You're going to fail. But when those things happen, when those moments do come around, how do you talk to yourself? How do
Mhm.
you hype yourself up to move on to the next shot, to go to work the next day, to, do the next homework assignment and get yourself ready for it?
Right.
And that's what reframing negative statements is all about. Mostly it's the self-talk aspect of it. But
Yeah.
you got anything there?
Yeah, yeah. I think when it comes to that, and I think this whole topic of growth mindset and um, reframing your perspective, but I think that in specific takes a concerted effort on the part of that person, right? We said
Absolutely.
it's
Yes.
this whole thing is up to the person. You have to make that decision, but you also have to recognize when that negativity starts to creep in, and then you have to make the effort to stop that negativity and reframe it into positivity, where ah, man, I didn't do this yet, it's next time I'll get that, ah, man, instead of ah, crap, this sucks, this is the worst, I
Yep.
messed up again.
What you just said right there is a strategy that I learned very early in my master's program.
Hmm.
Um, and I actually read about it in a book before I started my master's program, where it's perfectly normal as a human to think negative thoughts. It's just in our nature.
Yep.
Um, but being able to recognize it, stop it, and replace it.
Yep.
I think the way the book phrased it was, the recognize is the first R, stop is is the S, and then replaces this is the second R. So recognize, stop, replace. And if you can do that whenever a negative thought comes into your head, you're going to be so much better in terms of growth mindset and bettering yourself in whatever it is you're doing. I think
Love it.
that's huge.
Love it.
Um, and that also, that reframing negative statements applies to coaches, parents,
Yep.
anybody on the outside who's talking to the performer, you don't want to say a negative statement and make somebody feel
Yeah.
bad about themselves or that they suck at what they're doing, right? Being able to encourage somebody as an outside person is important too. The second thing is reflecting on effort and not outcomes. This is something that you and I talk to our players about a lot.
Yeah.
We talk about it at the very beginning of the season. We talk about it as the season goes on. Um, it's not about whether you win or lose. It's about the effort you put in during the match or the sales pitch or whatever it may be. So take
Yeah.
it away.
We talk tennis is our world, but it goes, universally. There are levels to what you're doing. High school tennis, especially that we talked about how competitive the Sunflower League is last week, right? High school tennis, there are levels. There are players that are really freaking good,
Yep.
and then there are players that just picked up a tennis racket at the beginning of the season, and then anywhere in between. And so, you know, the best girls that, or the best boys, or, the players that we have on our team are just the players that we have at our school. And we're kind of stuck with the talent that we have, whether that's a lot of talent or a little bit of talent or a little, somewhere in the middle. And we have
Yeah.
to compete against the teams and the players,
Hmm.
regardless of what their talent level is. Maybe they have been playing since they were 6 years old and they have a lot more talent than you do. And you're probably not going to win that match, but we can focus on some things to still get something out of that match.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've talked about, I'm going off on a tangent here, but we talk about the competition zone, where if this is how good I am, there's a competition range out here of players that are a little bit better than me and a little bit worse than me, that is a competitive match. But then when I get outside of that competition zone and I'm way, way better than the player I'm playing against, or maybe I'm way, way worse than the player I'm playing against, you know, you still have to play the match.
Yeah.
You still have to go out and win the points or lose the points so that the match gets played. And if you just go through the motions, that match is pointless. It doesn't do you any good. You have to have the mindset of, okay, I'm going to really work on my serve and volley in this match. I'm probably going to win this match anyways. I'm a lot better than this player. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna work on some things that maybe I struggle with. Or, man, this player is really good and they hit the ball a lot harder than I'm used to. So I need to work on my timing. I need to work on my feet, getting my footwork ready. When that ball's coming at me twice as fast as what I like, I have to have my footwork twice as fast. I need to speed my
Yeah.
racket up and get my timing a little bit early. I'm probably not winning this match, but I can try and do everything that I can from point to point to still get to be a better tennis player. And like that's what you as the player have to make that choice. I can tell it to you before the match, but you
Yeah.
have to make that conscious decision during the match to still try and improve as a player.
How great of a feeling it is to walk off the court even after a loss, knowing that you improved on something.
Yeah.
Would think of the mindset shift of, I actually feel like I got better at my timing today. I might have lost the match, but screw it.
Yeah.
I was going to lose it anyway, right? I got better out here as opposed to, dude, I just went out there and I got waxed 6-0, 6-0, and now I have to turn around in 15 minutes and play another match. Are you freaking kidding me?
Hmm.
It's a mindset difference. And you said it earlier, it's a conscious choice from the athlete, from the whoever to make that decision.
Yep.
That huge, 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 huge. The last one kind of goes into the first one, and that's using constructive criticism as feedback instead of, you know, negative
Yeah.
comments from people. I think high school athletes need to hear this. There's just a lot of certain things associated with feedback
Yep.
in today's world where it's automatically taken as negative or bad. When in reality, if given correctly from the coach or the parent or
Hmm.
whoever, it can be very constructive and very beneficial for the person.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, obviously are different ways of presenting feedback. You know, um, I remember we were watching film this past girls' season, and yes, I watch film for tennis coaching, and I know you know that, but a lot of people don't, and I think it's one of the best things ever. We can talk about that later if you want, but um,
That's why you're the best. That's why you're one of the best
hey,
coaches in the state of Kansas.
yeah, if you say so. Um, but I said something, and I thought that I had framed it, you know, in a constructive and not so much probably positive, but in a constructive and effective way. And one of the other girls said, "Well, that's kind of mean." And I said, "Actually, that's honest."
I remember that.
And I
Yeah.
like it's my job to be honest with you, right? Like if I'm not pointing out the errors in your forehand or in your backhand, you're not going to get better. If I don't
Yeah.
show you how bad your form is, you don't know how bad your form is.
You don't
'Cause
know.
like so so um I think it comes a little bit from the giver of the feedback, how you are wording it, and I think that's one of the things that can separate a good coach from a bad coach or a good teacher from a bad teacher is, how you present your feedback.
Yeah.
Um, but it also comes from the listener, and it's that perspective, that mindset of this person has my best interest in mind. This coach is trying to make me a better player. This teacher is trying to teach me how to do this better or how to do it the right way. And maybe, some coaches and some teachers give it better and don't give it better, that constructive criticism. But on the part of the receiver, you have to you have to understand that this person is trying to get you to be better. And
Yep.
you've got to kind of put your ego aside on maybe, oh man, that hurts my feelings. Well, it might hurt your feelings, but you have to also recognize that you're making the mistakes, that the person who's giving you that feedback is trying to help you not make that mistake again, and they're trying to get you to be better at whatever you're doing. And so
Yeah.
the responsibility I think is on both parties, where it's the person giving the feedback should be good at giving that feedback, and the person receiving the feedback also has to have the understanding of, okay, yeah, this person's trying to help. I need to listen. I need to take what they're saying and change my ways and do it better the next time.
Being coachable. I've
Bingo.
heard you say that so many times
Bingo.
in the time frame that we've been coaching together. Be coachable.
Yep.
Um, there's nothing that I'm going to use you and I as an example. There's nothing that you and I are going to tell our players that is going to hurt them in the long run.
Yeah.
There we if the coach, parent, whoever's giving this feedback is knowledgeable, they're going to tell you things that are going to help you. And you say it all the time. It might make you a worse tennis player in the moment,
Yep.
but in the long run, if you stick with it, if you have a growth mindset and you overcome some of the challenges that are coming at you, it will make you a better person, a better tennis player down the road, right? And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
it's that coachability that makes separates good athletes or man athletes or from great athletes.
And
And
and athletes, if you want your coaches to like you, be coachable. Like
yeah,
that's that from the coaching side of things, it is so much easier to coach and give that feedback, to teach a student and give that feedback if you are a good receiver of that feedback and you take it to heart and you use it and you don't take it personally. If you are coachable, it makes your coach so much more excited to coach you.
absolutely. As a fellow coach, I can agree with that
Yeah.
statement. Um, now, kind of tying into the process driven, um, not results driven type thing we talked about earlier. Um, what is how do you encourage your students and your players to focus on that process driven aspect as opposed to the results driven? Because it's so easy to look at wins and losses and say, did good, did bad.
Right.
How do you encourage people to stay in the process driven area?
I think you just have to fall in love with the process. You know what I mean? Like we talked a little bit about it with the embrace the process. I got my ETP shirt on tonight, but like you just have to love the work, whether it's doing homework problems over and over and over and getting the repetition in on the textbook, or um, going out and hitting a basket of serves on your own, or running your own lines,
Hmm.
condition on your own. Do like you've got to fall in love with the process of getting better, and um, having a good coach will let you know all of the things that need to happen, what that process looks like. But we've said it's the theme of tonight, I think, is that perspective and the decision that the athlete has to make. You have to go out and hit your serves. You have to go up and shoot 100 free throws. You have to go and, you know, Google search extra problems to balance equations if you really want to get better at it. You know what I'm saying? Like
It
you have
sounds
to make
awful,
that decision.
personally.
Hey, I googled it just the other night. No, but you have to make that decision of this is the process. I if I want to get to the next level, I have to go up all of the steps to get to the next floor of the building.
You can't jump,
You can't just jump.
can't jump stairs.
You have to put
Yeah.
in all of the work. And you see the image of the iceberg tip with what everybody else sees, and it's championships and winning and gold medals and things like that, and then the base of the iceberg is so much bigger, and it's early mornings and it's late nights and it's hard workouts and it's all of these things that happen in the shadows that nobody sees, that you don't get the recognition for. And that's the process, the base of the
Yeah.
iceberg, the steps of the staircase, and not just the next floor. Like you just have to love it. You have to want it. Um, you have to embrace the process.
We talked about it a little bit last week. Um, I kind of got it from you, and I thought it was important to tie that into my business and my thing. But I want you to kind of talk about what it means to you. Your summer camps are ETP.
Yeah,
This is something that's been a thing near and dear to you for God, for literally almost like since you've been coaching. So
yeah,
talk about it a little bit.
yeah. We have a few minutes. I'll go a little bit, kind of the long version of the story, not the super short version, because
It,
I think it's
it
worth.
deserves the long version.
Yeah. So when I started my coaching, my official professional coaching experience, I was, in my student teaching. I think I mentioned it last week down in Arc City. Um, but the thing with student teaching is that you're still not allowed to be unsupervised with your students. So it goes with coaching too. I couldn't be as a student teacher coach. I couldn't be unsupervised with the athletes on the tennis courts. And so there was the head coach, and then there was me as the student teacher assistant coach. But we needed a third coach to be like my supervisor and have the teaching license and be okay and certified to be alone with the high school students. um, and so the head tennis coach got a hold of and hired as the third assistant coach. He was the head basketball coach at Arc City High School at the time, and he knew nothing about tennis at all. He wanted to branch out in his coaching experience. He called himself the bus driver because he would drive the JV van to the JV meets, and I would ride in the passenger seat, and I would do all the coaching, and he was the bus driver. Um,
It's like me with the JV golf team.
yeah,
Like
exactly, exactly.
I'm not a coach. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm here to drive the bus and get you from point A to point B. I love
um,
that.
and he really, he embodied the whole concept of embracing the process. He learned tennis in the 2 years that I was down there, and he loved it, and he was pretty athletic, and he would get in with the kids and play at practice and do all, and he wanted to learn, and it was fantastic, and we became such good friends. He and I were he was really probably the first person that made me feel at home in Arc City. And I will never forget him for that, and for that I'm forever thankful. Um, anyways, he had on the side, so he did his head basketball coaching and he helped tennis coaching, and he, um, I think it was maybe 1 year after I had gotten there, but he had given up the head basketball coaching, but he still wanted to be involved, and so he had his own private basketball lesson company, organization that he would give um, basketball one-on-one lessons to anybody that wanted them. I mean, he had people coming from all over. He had lots of connections. He had people coming from Wichita, from Oklahoma, from other cities in Kansas. All ages, from elementary school up through the high school, and even into some of the college players in the area. Um, but the title, the name of his company was ETP Basketball, and it was Embrace the Process. Um, and he really drove that message home with his athletes of embracing the process. It takes the daily work, and some days are good days and some days are bad days, but that's part of the process.
Hmm.
And that message kind of stuck with me, and I really appreciated learning from him, just kind of from the coaching world. Um, and then the summer after I had left Arc City and decided to take the head coaching position here at Olathe South, um, he, I'm gonna get emotional about it. He was taken from us. He passed away on the basketball court, actually playing pickup basketball. Um, it wasn't a heart attack, but it was a cardiac emergency, is what it was determined. Um, and the message of embracing the process just stuck with me the whole way. Um, and so when I came up here to Olathe, and I knew I wanted to get my summer tennis stuff up and running, and I knew that if we were going to build a program at South, it had to be more than just the things that were happening during the season. Um, and so I got permission from his wife and from his family to use the ETP um, acronym for my tennis lessons, and um, it's a story that doesn't get told enough. It makes me emotional when I tell it, just because of the connection that he and I had. He was so important to me and even to my wife. Their whole family welcomed us. We were outsiders in the Winfield and Arc City area, and they helped make us feel at home. My son's middle name is Anthony, after Anthony Brantley. So, like that story, the origin of ETP, holds a very dear spot in my heart, and um, it's not just that story, but the idea of embracing and falling in love with the process of the daily work and the getting better. Um, it just it fit, and it fits in this conversation, and
Yeah.
it's a good reminder on the tough days of there's more to it than just what's happening to me right
Yeah.
now. Like the
Yeah.
perspective is bigger, the mission, the job, the goal is bigger than what's happening to me today, um, and so it's a good reminder.
Absolutely. And I think it speaks wonders to the reach that he has, um, because think of all the kids that you've helped with through ETP, that they have something to look forward to in the summer, and they've learned these valuable lessons not only about tennis but just about life in general, and they don't even know this person
Yeah,
existed. They don't even know who he is, and you're passing that type of stuff on. I think that is an extremely unique quality about a good coach, is just passing on things that you've learned from other people through generations of athletes, and who knows where those kids are going to go in the future and who they're going to pass those things on to.
yeah,
um, that's awesome. And yeah, I'm so thankful for him and what he did for your coaching journey. And
yeah,
because I'm learning so much stuff from you, and I know that a lot of that is stuff that he passed on. So, um, thank you so much for sharing that. That's kind of where I get my ETP and my set point, just
hmm
a little blurb of it. Um, and yeah, it's good stuff. Um, so I want to end on a quote, kind of tying everything that we've um, kind of talked about into one last thing. Carol Dweck is the person who coined the term growth mindset. I had to read her book in this class, and that she coined this term, and she said, "Becoming is better than being," and I think that that kind of embodies the whole process of everything. Um, that yeah, we can sit here and dissect this quote for hours
Yeah,
probably, but becoming is better than being. I think that
I love that.
is wraps everything into five simple words.
Yep, beautiful, love it.
Yeah. Thank you, Carol. Thank you for your
That's
service,
right.
Carol. I don't know if Carol's still alive. There's a lot of good stuff in that book.
She's probably
Um,
not listening, but that's all right.
if Carol Dweck is listening, thank
Thank
you
you,
for the
Carol.
best 8 weeks of my life in that course. Reading that book was great. It was awesome. Uh, so I'm going to end on just a little plug. Set Point Mental Edge. Check it out. Instagram, YouTube now, Spotify now, Facebook, everything like that. I have a
He's all
website.
over the place. You
Oh,
can't get away from him. He's all over.
Miss, they call me Pitbull because I'm Mr. Worldwide. I looked at my numbers the other day, dude. There's like 4,000 Facebook views. And I was like, I don't even know 4,000 people.
Let's
I
go.
don't. I
Let's
don't know
go.
what that's from. It's probably some bots out there on the internet. But
Hey, views are
regardless,
views,
it's
baby. Views are
views
views.
are views. That's right. TikTok on there, posting some things. The website is setpointmentaledge.com. Email setpointmentaledge@gmail.com. If you, somebody you know, your kids, anything like that, want to get better in the world of athletics, in the world of performance, could be anything, reach out to me, DM me, send me an email. You just reach out and we can get you guys hooked up. Um,
You won't regret it.
I
You will
that
not regret it.
hopefully not. Good results so far. Um, but that's all I have for this week. I'm excited. We're second episode. That means consistency with it. And maybe we can get a third episode out of it.
Let's do it. Let's
That'd
do
be
it.
pretty great. Oh, that's so exciting. I love that we're doing this. And yeah, I think this is great. I hope people who listen get something. I've had somebody reach out the other day. I sent it to you and
Yeah.
they were just like, dude, I love that you're doing this. This is great. They're not even, I don't think they're an athlete and they,
Ah,
just appreciative of it. So anybody can get something out of this. I love it.
yep. I had somebody reach
This
out to
is
me and said that they loved it too. So it's awesome. I'm so glad.
that's what I'm talking about, man.
Go.
Changing lives.